guess the next on the list here, I guess I'll go next. And I am covering 氷属性男子とクールな同僚上司. The ice guy and his cool female colleague. And this is
The ice guy. That's a good. That's good. That's good.
the ice dude. Yeah, exactly. And this is a series done by collaboration between Zero G and Liber. I believe Liber is not, this is their first of like two series, and they're probably working a little bit more on the production side because the last series that they did, the first series that they really worked on was doing production advancement for that like one science series, whatever it was called. Science Fell in Love, so I tried to prove it. I believe season 2. So I believe Zero G is actually taking most of the work, and they've done a lot of smaller series before, like Farming Life in Another World, a couple of small isekais like that. Grand Blue Dreaming, is that second season of Grand Blue? I think. Garandol, they did some small Idolmaster stuff, like very like side spin-off kind of like chibi kind of things, some other small things. So they've helped out with a couple of those. Uh, and this is, I think, headed by a director in Monkyu and Kano Miyako, who are two like kind of directors who have worked with Zero G for at least a few years, I think. But they are kind of backed up by two pretty heavy hitter veterans in assistant director Ushijima Yuji, as well as series composition and script writer Komparu Tomoko, right? So these two are pretty much big veterans, and I think the series really kind of does show its like stability in how those two I think kind of affected the direction, right? So, anyways, a little bit of summary here. Himuro, who is the titular ice guy, right? The the Yuki instead of Yuki Onna, I guess it would be Yuki Otoko, right? Yuki Onna being sort of the uh, fabled snow creature, right? Not like a yeti, but it's like in Japanese mythological lore. If you go around like in the mountains or like in springs or whatever in the wilderness, you can find a woman who is sort of who can summon snow, who is cold to the touch, sort of like a cold like ice kind of ghost kind of creature, and she's usually kind of like in the wilderness alone and stuff like that. So it's kind of like the Japanese version of the Yeti in a sense, but obviously much prettier and a girl. So this is that, but with a guy. And so he, the titular ice guy, is an office worker who belongs to a race of supernatural beings with strange powers. Whenever he is deep in concentration, he subconsciously plunges his poor coworkers into close rendition of the Arctic. Even so, contrary to his icy powers, Himuro is a warm and kind person. He likes flowers and cats, but alas, he cannot get too close to either. Himuro has a soft spot for his colleague Fuyutsuki, a calm woman who has a knack for providing simple solutions to his unconventional problems. So that's the brown hair girl next to him. Whenever Fuyutsuki does something for him, a snowstorm of emotions builds inside Himuro's heart, and he fails to notice the raging snowstorm he causes on the office floor. Thanks to his snowy tantrums, Himuro's feelings are apparent to everyone but Fuyutsuki. However, fueled by immense adoration and desire, Himuro is prepared to do whatever it takes to capture her heart. So this is a very standard, like, call and response, more like the base is romance, but I think there's not that much development, at least from what I can see in the first episode. I would have to read the manga to get a better sense of it, but it's definitely more heavily focused on the comedy part of the rom-com, right? So the guy is just like, oh, I'm in love with this girl, this office worker, this coworker at my office, who's just like so kind to me, even though I do like weird stuff, and I freeze up or whatever it is, right? And I want to get close to cats, but I can't. And she just gives me these like little trinkets and stuff to kind of help reassure me. And I want to get close to her. Um, so whenever Futsuki gives Himuro, the ice guy, some like solution or souvenir or trinket or whatever, being like, oh, maybe you can use this. He's just like, oh man, she's so cute, she's so nice, stuff like that. And that's just like the back and forth that happens over and over again. And that's sort of the core of the series. And then on top of that, you have sort of the supporting cast, um, who are often also mythical creatures. For instance, I believe one of them, Komori-san, I believe. Komori-san is a descendant of a Japanese fox spirit or yoko, right? So she'll have like her ears and the tail pop up, and she'll do the usual thing where it's like when she's excited, the tail will like be really active, or the ears will be really active, or whatever it is. So you'll have a lot of these things kind of popping up, but the supporting cast is kind of there for fun. A little bit of the smaller like side couple kind of business, right? But most of the back and forth call and response, most of the value, quote unquote, of the series is in the whole like Futsuki giving, you know, Himuro the ice guy some advice, and Himuro being like, "Oh man, thank you so much," stuff like that, and also the rest of the office kind of not making fun, but making comedic observations on the fact that Himuro does ice guy stuff, such as when he's like not in a good mood, he kind of retracts into an igloo. He kind of creates like a self igloo around himself, and he kind of retracts back into it, and so a lot of the humor is kind of like that, and there's not really too much of it. I'm gonna guess, I haven't read the manga. I'm gonna guess it's gonna be extremely episodic. It's gonna have very little development per episode, if any development per episode. And for people who like this sort of thing, it's fine. I think it's okay for what it is. I just think it's like a cute little thing. I'm not sure if I will watch, all 12 episodes of it. But I do think, if you came in here to watch something like this, it's nice. Some special things I noticed about the audiovisuals are also it's fine, I think, for what it is. There's not like that many frames to go around, but it's also like just people at an office talking. So they didn't really, you can't really like when they're like talking, you're not really like, damn, there's not enough animation in here. It's not like that. So a lot of them are more kind of like static scenes. Uh, a funny thing I noticed was that Himuro, again, the ice guy, is Kansai, and he speaks in Kansai Ben, right, which is sort of like the West Japan dialect, and it's like the meme currently on the internet is that the closest thing to like something like Kansai Ben is just uh it's like Southern accent, right? I believe is sort of the U.S. Southern American Southern accent. I believe that is the closest thing that the internet has sort of connected to usually.
You mean the
Although,
Texas accent?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Although I do think that does feed into like a stereotype at times. Um, but and I think the sort of frequencies are slightly off. But anyways, uh, Himeno does speak in a decent amount of Kansai Ben in his internal monologues. I think when he speaks regularly, he's kind of like he kind of tries to speak like a Tokyoite, which is what it is. What does happen in real life from time to time with people. But when he does speak in or when he does think in his inner monologue in Kansai Ben, he'll say stuff like um akan or yade or whatever, all these standard like Kansai Ben fillers, right? Fillings or variants. And another funny thing I kind of found was that usually, so in these anime news network postings of anime series, right, you have, who are the voice actors, uh, or who is the director of photography, chief animation director, who does the music, stuff like that, right? There's one special entry in this series that I have literally not seen in any other anime news network list, and I believe it is dialect direction. Uh, I'm kind of interested in seeing what's gonna happen down the series anime wise, just for that alone, because I feel like right now Himuro is pretty like I think the lines he's saying are laying it on a little bit thick in terms of Kansai Ben. like using a lot of that, like, a lot of the concept and the kind of lingo. But I'm not sure where they're bringing in the dialect direction for right now. So I am actually pretty interested in watching the series, not because I'm like super interested in this sort of anime, although I'm fine with it. I just again would not necessarily watch 12 episodes of it straight up, but I want to see where the dialect director kicks in with this sort of stuff. So pretty interested in watching this to check that out. But other than that, I don't really have too much.
So
It's a yeah.
why don't they speak Ainu?
I I don't
Why
think
not?
I think I knew is a little bit just because they're the guys associated with cold. I don't think it's not like an I knew thing. It's not
What's that?
like
What's that dude? Who's that dude from Shaman King? Did he speak Ainu?
oh the
Yeah, yeah,
yeah
yeah.
yeah.
Those are also Ainu.
Oh, I
Why?
forget. I feel like you might
You
be
know who
right.
I'm talking about, right? Yeah, the
Yes.
Usui.
Yeah,
Like
he is
that's
part
his
of the
name.
Ainu tribe. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. Yeah, good stuff.
Did he speak Ainu in Shaman King? I don't remember.
I don't think so. I think
Wow.
Shama King was that sort of thing where it's like they had all these like they had these backgrounds, right? But it's like they didn't really focus on them. And for some characters, like that was a good thing, right? Like Chocolove, you don't really want to.
And Choco Love is my favorite, almost racist character.
But yeah, I mean, I think yeah, Chocolove McDaniel or whatever it was. But yeah, I
Really?
think yeah, that is literally his name or
Near who's the
McDonald.
dude from Steel Ballroom? The dude who won.
Uh, don't remember.
Not Weka Pipo, that's the Indian guy. Uh you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Poco Loco.
Yes. Yes.
His stand is
but
OP, dude.
But yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, no, it's not I knew. But oh, also one last thing wanted to mention before I close up. The opening is like it's not bad, but it's like not that standout.
Is it top how what's the rank top 10? Is it top 10
The opening?
of this season?
No, I have to listen to some others, but I probably wouldn't say it's not. It's like not bad, but it's just like okay, whatever. It's like it's kind of something that fits this series. It's quiet, it's nice, it's fine. Um, but what I really wanted to hear was there was this when there was a trailer of this in Japan, and it had a PV song called "Joyride" by Sakuma Tako, and Sakuma Tako actually did a bunch of openings for like Ultraman Trigger and stuff like that. So I honestly want to listen to that and not really this. I think the PV song is like way cooler than the whatever this opening is. But anyways, I'm waiting for that, but apparently it's not releasing until like February, like mid February or something like that. So that kind of sucks. But you know, I can wait. But yeah, anyways, that was, I think, my series. Again, this is 고리속세男子 to 쿨나 도류女子. The Ice Guy and his cool female colleague. It is, again, done by Zero G Library Collaboration. I think Zero G is probably taking most of the work here. If you kind of want a very, very episodic series that's very standard, like call and response, has some fun little, elements to it, some fun little themes to it, the sort of ice guy, the fox spirit girl, the them getting together and just doing weird stuff, you know, or the ice guy and like the coworker getting together and doing some funny stuff. Then please do check this out.